Girls, boys, nobody in between. It's me, Just May, and welcome back to yet another episode of May I Just Say. It's May I Just Say, your weekly roundup of all things RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4 with me, your first eliminated queen, the only girl that was there for 22 and a half minutes and made more of an impact than Liz Truss in her whole tenancy. I'm here to go through everything RUSICAL related with you. We're going to be chatting through all of our latest episodes with my sis. She's the only one that I'd sleep at the front of a coach with. It's LaFille.
Hi, Just May.
Hi, LaFille. Oh my God, I've never met you before. It's so good to finally meet.
We finally meet. We meet again, having only met 1 week.
It was 22 minutes. Now, LaFille, we're here to chat all things Lairy Poppins. But before we jump in with all things Lairy Poppins, we need to talk about our dearly departed sis. In the week prior, Sminty did leave, and she left a lovely little message on that mirror. How did you all feel walking back into that workroom?
Oh, well, Sminty was my LaFinty partner. Like, literally, we had such a wonderful time, like, growing together. And, like, Sminty's amazing. And so beautiful, gorgeous, funny, and like warm. And so it's really sad because she's such a massive part of the competition. And I mean, like, I was so relieved to be safe that week. And so, like, between me, Baby, and Sminty, we were like holding hands and like trying to go through any lip sync things together. So we understood what it felt like backstage. So I think, like, for then to watch them do the lip sync and then for Sminty to go, it was so sad. Iconic. That, like, the twerk. Oh my! I was like, was it a twerk? Was it back then? Did she break her back?
Is she okay? Do we need to call emergencies?
Was her wig so heavy that she burst her spine?
Well, who knows at this point? But did you all know how viral that would be?
We knew, yeah, literally. I think, like, when we watched it, we're like, oh my God, that's iconic. I wet myself. I was like stood at the back wetting myself. And so, yeah, I think anything that makes us laugh so much, we knew that it was going to be a memorable moment.
I mean, it is the season of iconic exits. We started this week with our reading challenge. Now, how did that reading challenge go down? Were there any good reads for you, or was it all a bit LaFille?
Oh my God. I was like, when it came to mine, literally every single one was like, LaFille, and I was like, this is so boring. I was like, do you not have any imaginative things? Like, are you not creative queens? Everyone was really funny though, like, literally, because I think, like, we've all watched that challenge and we know how well people can be or like bomb that. So I think when we were all doing it, it was literally like taking the piss out of each other. Like, we're all in the same like boat going, what the fuck are we gonna say? Actually, it was really funny. I loved it. I was giggling like mad.
The big question is, did you have a read for me?
Oh, May. Well, you probably know the read already.
Just meh.
just meh.
And that's right, this is your opportunity. Please write your reads below. So Pixie was our winner of the reading challenge, which meant that she got to decide who was who in our RUSICAL for season 4. How did that determination go down? Was it as fair as we saw on screen, or was there a little bit more backstabbing that could have happened?
No, do you know what? Like, I think it pretty much what you saw on screen was what happened. We all sat down, we all listened to it together, and it's like, it's a long track, and it's what, about over 10 minutes. So I think we're all sat there, we all listened, and the main thing was actually listening to that track. You couldn't really tell where the characters split up. So we were sort of like stabbing in the dark as like who we sort of wanted. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go for that. And like, it's about gut reactions, right? What you instinctively are drawn to, because there's not that much time to dilly-dally about. So as soon as we stopped listening, we're like, okay, what do we want? And we just verbalized it all. And Pixie was really good at listening to all the reasons and everything. And I think, yeah, what you saw in terms of the friction of like deciding who wanted a specific role was, yeah, all there on TV for you to see.
Who had the best French accent? Was it Cheddar or was it Dakota? The
What do
jury's
you
still
think,
out.
Justine? What do you think?
I actually don't think Dakota's French accent was that bad.
I thought, well, that's the thing, because Dakota's French accent was almost like very real, and it was like so subtle. And I think when Cheddar did it and did like this like OTT version of the French accent, I think that's what sort of just sparked everyone's ears a bit more, I think, in terms of that. But I think both French accents were very plausible.
Look, this is drag. We want over the top. We don't want realistic accents. That's why I sound like this.
All right, loves. I should actually talk like that for the rest of the interview.
Yeah, bring out the brig house. So you all went on to rehearse with Michelle and then do your choreography with Giovanni from Strictly. How was that experience for you all?
Oh my God, that was really good, because Michelle, it was the first time we've actually sort of sat down with Michelle on a more equal footing. Like, she's not behind the desk, she's just sat right in front of us on a chair. And it was so lovely. She had this maternal warmth to sort of like bring us out of our shells. So that was really nice to go through the music with her. And Dane as well, who actually, Dane lives at my end up in West Yorkshire and like literally commutes up in town. So I was like, oh, babes,
Maybe you're related.
Huh?
Maybe you're related.
I know, right? Maybe we're related through the Yorkshire waters. But like Giovanni, oh my goodness, he was so charming. And watching him teach everyone the choreo was, I don't know, I didn't even know what was happening. I was just watching Giovanni and watching all those bouldering muscles dance.
Oh, wow.
For me, like, I think for me, and maybe for Jombers as well, Giovanni was like, I haven't got any choreo for you, so let's just see what you're going to do. So we were just like, okay, we'll try to do that. So luckily we managed to get some choreo in for the next day to try and like do a bit more dancing. I was like, I want to learn something for it.
Did you have a bit of organza ready in case you needed to pull it out of your sleeve?
I mean, I do love my organzanography, but this time I was like, nope, I'm going to be full on character, full on Mary, and I'll have an umbrella that might pull out my sleeve. Oh.
So we should move on to the actual challenge itself. This RUSICAL was so good. The characters were impeccable. Everyone stayed on form the whole time. Even if they couldn't sing, it was the perfect combination of what it needed to be. And I mean, like, if I'd have been there, then it definitely would have been a case of, even if you can't sing, it works. But I really loved how strong Pepper and Dakota opened this up with Baby as their mom. It really set the scene off. I loved Baby's mother character. The twins were bratty as they needed to be. And then we were introed to Lairy herself as she jumped through that closet door and appeared to help the family out. How were your feelings towards that bit?
Oh my God, it's so much energy. I loved watching all the rehearsals, and I really couldn't wait to watch this back on TV, because obviously I was backstage when it all happened. So all you could just hear sort of like what was happening, hear the crew reactions and stuff. So yeah, it's so excited to watch that back on telly. It was hilarious. Like the brats, Danny, all amazing.
So the middle section of the RUSICAL, we were introed to our animal creatures. We had Cheddar with the cockroach, her French cockroach action, and then we had Jombers as her Cockney pigeon.
Cockney bird lady. Oh my
Cockney
God.
bird lady, heavily via Belfast.
This is it. I'm gonna. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna jump back to earlier and link this. So yeah, to like Baby's part, I love, because it was literally like the pop moment. I think if I hadn't done Mary, I would have chosen Baby's part as well, just because I think it's such a good sassy moment. And I think as a sassy mom, like, who doesn't want to be a sassy mom? And to have two kids that are way taller than you, like,
well, I mean,
the tallest kids ever. So they were like so good. So by the time we've had that like proper energetic pop moment, then to have like these like otherworldly characters come out, it was so good. And like Jombers, oh my God, I love Jombers, but I think this is the first time where I was like, babes, you do you. This is so good. Like, because Jumpers was so worried about the singing part, because the part was to sing, like it's a proper singer's song. And then as soon as like they said, no, do it more speaky, like do it like in your own way, and then to make it work for you, because otherwise, like we saw those warm-ups. So like Jumpers pulled it out the park. I loved it. I think like backstage, Jumpers was sat with me before she was going on, and as soon as she crawled on stage, I was wetting myself backstage. I love that.
It was the shoes, those pigeon feet shoes.
So good. I don't think there were shoes. There were Jumpers' feet, no?
Oh, well, who?
Oh,
Oh, the bin juice.
Oh my god, I love bin juice. Like when we're watching the show, and obviously there was this section that Pixie was struggling with the melody of Drink Bin Juice. Like I found it humorous, not because of Pixie struggling, but because of that line, just that specific line and that lyric that was being repeated and repeated. Bin juice, drink bin juice. I was like, that is the best line ever.
I mean, it now makes sense to me why everyone always says bin juice when we're all together.
Yeah. Drink bin juice. Drink bin juice. Yeah.
And we always will.
Always will. Yeah. It gives you the best vitamins.
How was it to live your fantasy as the OG Mary? There's only been 3 in our lifetime. It was Julie Walter. It was Julie Andrews, it was Emily Blunt, and now LaPhil.
Yes, we all have something very much in common, don't we? Long hair. Just long hair.
I was going to go for penises, but...
Well, probably. I wouldn't know what's under their skirts. Who knows? No,
who knows what's under yours?
Exactly. Nothing. Yeah, I really wanted the OG part. I was like, I've never played a leading character in something like this, and I was like, when, if not Drag Race, is a chance for a Chinese queer androgynous boy to play Mary Poppins? So I was like, I'm going for it. I want that. I want to be in this role and do like, it's a challenge. Like, I think when we were listening to it back in the casting section, I was like, okay, this is the one where she's going from 2 different sides of the character, like quite a lot. So I was like, okay, there's quite a lot to play with. It's gonna be a challenge, but I want it. And it was really fun. Not gonna lie, I rehearsed like mad. Poor Danny in his hotel room next door. I'd be singing at night. I'd be like trying to like just like make sure I got all those words right. We talk about Todgers.
Oh yeah, we'll do your willies and Todgers. Mary's big moment was when she stopped the children from swearing, but she in turn found that she loved to swear. You had your prime moment with your willies, bums, Todgers, titties, bum holes. Anything I've missed?
Oh, probably loads of yeah, I think that was it. You covered. Yeah, loads of bum holes. Literally, it was time to unleash her inner skank. It was time to release the skanky Mary. And literally, I've never had so many Todgers come out of my mouth in the space of 2 minutes.
But have you had that many go in the space of 2 minutes? Was that the last song, your Willy Bums Todgers? That was the last song, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bum Bum Willy I. That one. Yeah, and then my final line closes it. Now take this umbrella and shove it up your ass.
And we shoved it up our ass more than anything we could possibly get in before. And that led us to the end of this RUSICAL. But what do you think of this RUSICAL? Do you think it is as good, or if not better, than everyone's saying?
Oh my god, I think it's amazing. I literally am so gagged to have been in this episode, and like, because it's just the way that the story was written, the jokes and stuff, like it's so panto, it's so Drag Race, it's very British, it's a British musical, and I think that's what was so fun, like to have like a little twist. And yeah, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely batshit Willy Bum Bum crazy Todger titties. Now go shove this umbrella up your ass. We had everyone coming out in their West End finery or musicals depending on whether or not that West End, whether or not that musical had been on the West End or not. Some of our looks sparkled, some of them shone. Everyone's were great this week. What was your favourite?
Oh my goodness. Well, aside from mine, I really loved, I mean, Danny's was amazing, but I also really loved Pepper's. Like, literally, Pepper loves a big headpiece. Like, oh my God. And each week it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And this time it was like, the light head. I was like, where did you pack that in your book bag?
When she pulled, because she was next to me in the workroom, when she pulled that out, I was like, my rock for that week is shit now.
Literally, I love that look, and I love like the barefootedness. And the way that she pranced around on stage, like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that look.
I actually do think that maybe if Danny wouldn't have done something so big, her one might have won. If you took Danny's out of the equation, I think hers could have been one of the winning looks.
Yeah, aside from mine, obviously.
Well, yeah, based on look, you know.
Yeah, no, I love those looks, and Danny's was amazing because also, where did you pack that?
Again, when that came out, it was like, how did you get that here?
I know.
Did you wear that here?
And walking down the runway, like Danny had like obviously the jaw of the plant like chatting, and it was the most funniest thing, like seeing that jaw move without any noise coming out, actually, which was quite new for Danny.
So our other looks that we had this week, we had Jumbers and they're singing in the rain. We had Dakota in her funny girl. We had Baby as Anne Juliet. We had Pixie with her hairspray, and of course you as the King and I. Oh, and Cheddar as Hedwig.
Like everyone's outfits were so individually them, like, and how they sort of executed it. Like each meant something to someone.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I wouldn't have wanted to do any of those other characters because King and I meant so much to me, like as a piece of work, as a role, as a story of two cultures coming together. Like, so I think in a way, everyone's got their own journeys and stories to tell. And I think it's so subjective that like, I wouldn't want to sort of pit anyone against each other.
What I really loved is how everyone, they interpreted it to make it themselves. Like no one really did an exact copy. Like Jumbers' Singing in the Rain was obviously not an outfit from Singing in the Rain, but inspired by. I mean, I think Cheddar's was maybe the closest like copy to the outfit by the character, but even then it had like that kind of subversive Cheddar twist to it. But I think that kind of is ingrained in that character anyway. Your one was although I've never seen a King and I.
What? You've never seen the King and I?
I mean, much like Dakota, I actually don't like musicals. The hilarious thing about both of our outfits, though, is we both went to the same designer and did our photo shoots in the same place without actually knowing that.
But yeah, I loved yours. I love the sparkles. I love it. We must have something in our DNA that brings us together.
So Ru's tops of the week were Danny and Pixie. We had...
And Giovanni.
Only top that mattered for this week's whole episode, Giovanni. They were very deserving tops. I think both of them shone in both the RUSICAL and their outfits on the runway. You know, I'm slightly biased with Pixie as she was dressed as my biological daughter. Our stage queens were Pepper and Cheddar, and then the remaining queens, Jumbers, yourself, Dakota and Baby, were left to get critiqued. Did you think this was fair?
I wanted the critiques, definitely. Like, I really wanted to be up there to have some feedback. Like, after episode 1 and episode 2, I felt pretty much like I didn't hear anything from the judges. So by the time, like, episode 3 came, I was like, great. 4, I was like, debatable. Then 5, I was like, oh, wounded. This is, like, the same feelings as the week before, and I was feeling really disheartened, because actually I felt like I did such a good job. And I made sure that every second there was not going to be one fault that could be picked up on, just in case, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to give every single moment, every single 24th of a frame, a proper entertaining show. And I feel like I did that. And so I was really disheartened to be in that bottom three. I just, yeah, I didn't think it was deserved.
No, 100%. And definitely, like, Rue and the judges both said that this week the caliber was so high that they were splitting hairs with it. And I totally agree. I do, however, think that maybe if that's the case, instead of a bottom two this week, maybe they should have had a top two like they've done some seasons prior. And then those two lip sync. I think that could have been a fairer way of doing it. But also, how the hell would Danny have lip synced in that plant pot? I do not know.
Still, and just made the plant talk. Like, that would have been amazing.
So, we've all been there.
I think that's the thing with this specific episode. Everyone was so strong, and I loved everyone in their roles as well. Like, I think like it just worked really magically. So yeah, completely. But if it's the way that the dice rolls, right? If they want to do that, then they have the choice to. But what we have is what we've got in front of us, you know.
But what did happen was you were made safe, and unfortunately Dakota and Baby were our bottom two. They had to lip sync to No Way. How did you feel to this song?
Oh my God, it was one of my favorites.
Really?
I was gagging for this one. And like, when I was, obviously, because I thought I might be lip syncing as well, I was completely preparing for it. So I was like giving it all with my nails, getting like all this like sassy stuff coming out. And we were like thinking of different things to do. And yeah, I love this song because there's so many different journeys in it, which what made Dakota's bit during the lip sync so fab. Yeah. Was like this like traditionally quite sad moment in the song, and she's like literally, right, I'm gonna just wander off now. So yeah, I gotcha. Which I pissed myself.
Did you all think she was actually leaving?
Well, that's it. But I think in that moment, like, because everything's happening so fast, like, where's she going? Where's she going? Where's she going? She's not. She's not. Oh no, she is not. And like, literally, it's so funny.
So unfortunately, we did get to our bottom two after the lip sync, and then on a shocking twist, Baby decided to leave. She decided to take herself out of the competition, putting her own health before it. I think that this was such a brave move for her, and it really kind of showed that actually you should be putting yourself first in these competitions. As much as it's a high pressure staked thing, it's something that you really need to think about the whole way through. How was the feelings when she did this?
Like, we all know it's such a difficult competition, and it's very challenging for everyone. I think coming up to this halfway point, it's very much like trying to keep up with everything, right? And it's like a pressure cooker. So to have such massive challenges and then to sort of be put into that position of having to lip sync and hear critiques and stuff, I can imagine how hard it must have been. And I felt for Baby so much, because we had lots of conversations backstage as well, just about how we're coping throughout all of this. And so I knew the journey that she was going through, and part of me was really emotional because I didn't want her to leave the competition and regret it or like try and push forward. But at the same time, I was like, I really want her to look after herself. And I think that was the main thing, which she was like, yeah, weighing up all this, like, I'm going to look after myself. And I think that was so good. Like, and to me, it's almost like not even necessarily about being brave, but actually just being, do you know what? I know what's good for me. I got to go do this, like, and just having the gung-ho-ness to go,
yeah,
I'm good. And
I definitely
night out after like one drink.
Well,
I'm good.
Yeah. I definitely think that the judges' reactions to it were right. I think they took it as it was meant to be taken, and it wasn't like a kind of moment. It was okay, great.
Yeah. Completely, because Baby is such an amazing artist and has done so incredibly in the competition, and has left a mark. Like, literally, there's so many good things to say about performances, everything that she's shown. Like, so there's nothing that's like detrimental in a way. Like, it's more about, I need to look after myself, I need to do this for me. And I think that was so powerful and so so well done and handled and like super graceful, and like, yeah, love her.
And so, do you know what? This one's for Baby.
Yeah, this one's for Baby. I love you, baby. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So good.
So the way we end this each week is I want to find out from you, what was your just slay moment, your favourite moment of this episode? Hit me with it, LaPhil.
My just slay moment was probably watching Dakota go off stage and come back again. I pissed myself so much. I think that was the antidote for the whole of the 2 days, was just to completely crease myself and laugh. Like, I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, that was great. I loved that moment.
I think that was probably going to be my just slay moment. But do you know what? Because we've already had it, let's make my just slay moment putting mental health before a competition.
Yes, yes. And also like supporting each other through all those stuff. Like, I think we all understood what it was like. And as a family, we were just like, completely get you, babes. Like, you need to do, you've got all our love and support for whatever. Yeah, completely.
But let's finish it with your get fucked moment. What moment would you say get fucked to out of the competition?
Being bottom 3.
My get fucked moment is not being able to show my hairspray outfit on the runway.
Yes, I know. Yeah, that sucks. I want your hairspray outfit on the runway. You should have just left me more of your stuff, and I would just walk.
I can imagine you walking down the runway in this. It would have been like a baggy trail behind you. LaPhil, that takes us to the end. Is there anything you want to plug?
Oh my God, I think you all should check out my music. Do you know, I've been doing music per runway, and like, I've had some amazing tracks. So have a listen to them on Spotify and find me on the socials. Yes.
Especially Pick Up the Trash. It's my favorite song.
Yeah, you love that one. I love that too. Oh, I love all of them. Feeling So Good, you have to go listen to. It's my hair track that I did for last week. Yeah, because you know what? Getting my authentic hair out and feeling me, feeling myself, feeling so good.
All that's left to do now, LaPhil, is say, get fucked.
Get fucked.